Going back to the figure folder, let's take a look at the Sphygmomanometer. Load as figure. Use a Z rotate on cuff parts to fold. Use curve control to smooth the fold. Use inflate morph to inflate the cuff, simulate it being blown up. The pump has a squeeze and a squeeze side morph to simulate pumping action. The meter has a meter reading master control, which can be set to the number of the meter needle should point to, between 20 and 300. Tubes can be posed using the rotate controls. Use the curve control to smooth sections. So let's go in here and first of all we will delete our bandage. Go back to our library and bring in our sphygmomanometer or blood pressure cuff. Right? Yeah. Now the blood pressure cuff is not symmetrical, as there are more sections on one side than the other. The hip is this section right here, where all of the tubes and the cuff meet. The cuff can be posed using the X, Y, and Z rotate controls. To curve the cuff around an arm or leg, set the hip next to the arm or leg, and then use the Z rotate control to simply wrap the cuff around the body part. Just like so. Just rotate from whichever side. Okay. You can also use the X and Y rotate to better fit the cuff to a particular body part. The tubes can be posed similar to the cuff. You select the section, use the rotate and the curve control to smooth things out. You go up or down, right or left, like such. You can also use the translate tools to move the pump and the meter. So I'm going to go to from the top. And we could just move the pump or the meter wherever we want them to go, just by dragging them off to the edge like that. And then you also have the forward or backward that you can pull in there as well. And you also have the in-out, which will bring it closer to you or further out, however you want to do that. We do zero the figure out. And I'm going to zoom in on the cuff a little bit here. Now, on the cuff, we have this inflate control that will inflate the cuff to simulate the testing. The pump has a squeeze and a squeeze side to simulate a pumping action. On the meter, zoom in on that a little bit. If you select the meter, there is a meter reading control, and in here you can put in the number that you want the needle to point to. So if I want to go to 80 or 300, it will move the needle to where whatever number you put this in. Now, in poser 7 and DAS, you'll need to use a little different technique. You want to select the needle and then use this turn dial to just put it to the reading that you want. Again, same functionality, it's just that you have to use the needle turn dial instead of the master control. Let's do a quick render before we go into the materials library. You'll notice that there is a ray trace reflection in much of the metal. You'll also notice that there's a slight weave pattern in the cuff. You may need to adjust your lighting slightly in order to get the weave to show in some renders. You can also adjust the bump map setting turn the bump map up a little bit, which can help make the weave stand out a bit more. Looking at the materials folder for the sphygmomanometer, we have three. We have the meter case, which is kind of a rough metal. We have the sphygmomanometer cuff. Now this is an alternate material that's just a little bit darker than the default material and has a little bit more pronounced weave. And then there's the sphygmomanometer dial, which is the dial on the meter in case you need to reset that. So now I'm going to select the alternate and apply this to the cuff. You'll notice it's a little bit darker. You can see the weave pattern is a little bit more pronounced at this point.